So now what I have here is I have some points plotted. I have F and G. So F has the first point at -3, -2. So right here, there's a point. Then it has its next point at -2, -1. So that'll have a point right there. We're going to cover up our -2. Then it has its next point at -1, 0. Then its next point is right here at 0, 1. Then its next point is 1, 3. And then its next point is 2, 2. And then its next point is 3, 1. 3, 1. And so all this stuff here, that's F. Okay? And now what it wants us to do is plot G. So G has a point at -1, 1, and at the point 0, 2, and then this point here, 1, 2, and then 2, 0, and then -1, or 3, -1. And so those are the points, and that's G. And then it says graph F plus G. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to graph F plus G. And so what did your study guide say? What was the correct answer according to the study guide? Because there's 4 graphs. Says it's C, huh?
31.
Yep, first 31. C. Okay. So now, when it says F plus G, what they're referring to are the Y's. They're referring to the Y values. Now, what is the Y value? Let's go through here. Go ahead and go back to courtesy mode. What is the Y value for F right here? This is -3, -2. We're only interested in this -2. This is -2, -1. We're only interested in the -1. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little table of values here for F. And so we're looking at the X, Y values. And so I've got an X value at -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then my corresponding Y values are negative, so all of this stuff is for F. I've got -2, -1, 0, wait. The next point is, it's 0. And then 0, 1, and then this point here is 1, 3, right? You guys see where I'm getting these values from? This point here is 2, 2, and then 3, 1, all right? Now, my G is pretty much the same thing. Okay? But do I have a value for g at -3? No. What about for -2? No. So these don't kind of exist for g. But here I've got -1, 1. Then I've got 0, 2. Then 1, 2. Then 2, 0. And then 2, -1, or 3, -1. Is that right? All right. So now, if I'm supposed to add the f's and g's, first thing I got to decide is what do I do right here? What do I do with this stuff right here? Well, I don't have a y value here because I don't have an x value because the domain of the function as it is graphed, they're not the same. F goes a little bit further than g, so basically I'm going to come to that later. But if I say f plus g and I'm only worried about the y's, then on my new function I should have x equals -1 because I got a -1 here and a -1 here. And then my y value should be -1 plus 0, which is -1. Here my x value is 0, but I should have 2 plus 1, which is 3. Here my x value is 1, but my y value should be 3 plus 2, which is 5. At 2, I should have 0 plus 2, which is 2. And then at 3, I should have -1 plus +1, which is 0.
Shouldn't that first one be a positive one?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's a +1. Okay? So then I'm going to say -1, +1, which is where? Right here. Then I'm going to say 0, 3, which is here. Then I'm going to say 1, 5, which is here. Then I'm going to say 2, 2, which is here. Then I'm going to say 3, 0, which is here. Well, I gotta make the. It's kind of hard to draw this with my hand in the way of the thing. And that, my friends, is f of g, which is which option? C. Now, the only problem now on your test, you're going to get the exact same thing but different y values. What do? Well, remember, you're going to add up the y values for only the defined functions. There's nothing here. So I can't count these. I can only count where I have two y values on the same domains. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?